Hey guys, Matthew LaCroix here for another adventure in the Rocky Mountains on this journey series. This is going to be a shorter video where today I'm just showing you some spectacular snowy and mountainous landscapes and traversing some very interesting areas. I'm going to be going into what's known as the James Peak Wilderness today and a place called Crater Lakes, getting above 11,000 feet. Just doing a little adventure to show you guys what it's like to be out here. So come along for the adventure and let's see what happens. So I wanted to take a moment in this nice sunny spot to provide an update for where this journey series is going to be going in the future, some very exciting places, and some just general updates for what's coming up along in the next 6 months to a year. At the end of July, August, I'll be taking a trip with Jay Campbell, Rex Bear, and Billy Carson to Peru and Bolivia. And that is going to be the first episode of this journey series that's going to really have the ancient history megalithic component. And when we're there, we're going to hopefully meet up with Brian Forster, and we're going to visit the most important ancient megalithic sites in the world: Machu Picchu, Ollantaytambo, Sacsayhuaman, Cusco, and then we're going to try to get over in Bolivia to Lake Titicaca to go to Tiwanaku and Pumapunku with the famous H's. So that's going to be absolutely spectacular. We're going to be focusing on pointing out and identifying and really examining those different components of civilizations that have built much more sophisticated, massive granite megalithic stone walls and temples on the very lowermost parts of these places. And then gradually you see, as I talk about all the time, you see the more primitive brick and stone and mortar and the smaller cobbles on top. And essentially what you're looking at is 1, 2, 3, perhaps 3 different civilizations in places like Machu Picchu that really stand out, that you can really see. So we're going to be going around to all of those locations and really just getting into what are the ancient legends, what do the indigenous say about their influences. When you go into places like Peru, you find out that, hey, this isn't the Inca that were the ones of the influences. This was a group or being or group of beings known as the Viracochans. This mysterious teacher being or god or whatever it was that was in Peru and Bolivia, that just came from a mysterious location and created all these structures all across Peru and Bolivia. And then as you go north and you get into Mexico, you have the Olmec and the Toltec and the Aztec with Quetzalcoatl. And then you go north and you see in the Maya you have Kukulkan, which they're all just these ascended master teachers that created those civilizations thousands and thousands of years ago and then just mysteriously disappeared. But the description of them, like Kukulkan and Quetzalcoatl, the reason why Cortez was able to conquer the Aztec was because they thought that was the same person returning. And the Spanish Empire actually timed his return exactly at that prophesized return, which is how they were able to accomplish that. So what we're going to do is examine all those different areas in Peru and Bolivia and then try to connect it around the world and really just try to understand this lost history all around us. So this series really goes everywhere from adventures in the wilderness, pushing the limits of endurance and talking about consciousness, all the way to ancient sites around the world. So I'm excited to see where this goes. So we're well over 10,000 feet now, and we're coming up to some very steep slopes. I just wanted to give you a little idea of where I am. You see the mountains are starting to appear all around me here as I'm getting higher up. I am not on the official trail, which is pretty common when you have this much deep snow. But snowshoes are necessary, and I do want to thank whoever the backcountry skiers are that helped me break a trail in here, because this would have been very difficult without them. So we are going up that slope ahead of us. The avalanche danger is not high today, so I'm not too worried, but wow, that is quite an impressive slope. And I do regret not bringing my ice axe today. So, yeah, that's where we're headed. All right, here we go. A pretty amazing ascent here I want to show you. Check this out. This is gonna be quite an adventure getting over this. That's the last rise we gotta do before we get up into the Crater Lakes cirque. I'm just hoping I don't get an avalanche right here. All right, here we go. Wow, take a look at where I am right now. Definitely one of the more spectacular spots I've ever been in. Look at this, I'm gonna give you a little view. Coming up this slope right here, I'm almost at the top, and just in the most spectacular deep snow winter landscape. And that's when I just went up. I'm glad that the snow conditions are pretty stable today. That's all I can say. But so now we just need to go up, just up there, and we can see what the view's like. So I made it to the area I want it to be. The only issue with having 10 feet of snow is that there's no trail markers and it's very easy to get lost. So I ended up climbing up the entire side of one of the mountains above Crater Lakes. But the trade-off is I get one of the most spectacular views, especially for a snowy landscape, I've ever seen in my life. So wait till you see this. Check this out where I'm standing right now. Hard to put in words how amazing this is. There's the Crater Lakes way down below me. And that's where I was supposed to be, down there. But I'm not complaining because honestly, that is just beyond words how beautiful that is. Few people ever get to see things like this. Wow. So I survived that somewhat surprisingly mini harrowing adventure going up those really like avalanche potential prone landscapes and getting way above my location I was trying to get to. But it, you know, I want to emphasize this enough. I didn't end up where I was supposed to at all. I ended up 1,000 feet above it on a mountain above Crater Lakes. But what happened when I wandered and I explored, which is obviously one of the highlights of this series, is I got a chance to see one of, if not the most spectacular mountainous snowy places I've ever stood in my life. It was breathtaking. And that would never have been possible if I had got to my original destination. So I want to encourage people to not be afraid. Even if you lose the trail a little bit and you're not quite sure you are, pull a map out, try to analyze the terrain, try to be logical about where you are, and you'll most likely be okay. And it led me to that incredible place. So I just want to have that be the parting message today, that sometimes that wandering truly takes you to what you really never expected, but end up being the greatest experience you've ever had. And that was today was one of those experiences that I'll never forget. So I'm going to end that here and just say thanks so much for all the support. Until the next journey.